Welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is Two Up and Two Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Up and Two Down. Today we have the Season 5 episode, The Lip Reader. And starting off with the ups, we're going over to Chris. What's your first?
Got plenty of ups in this Season 5 classic. I believe this was Carol Leifer's first episode. 31 million people watched this episode. An absolute classic. I'm glad I'm going first. I can't not mention this. For me, one of the all-time scenes in Seinfeld history. Jerry and George out to dinner with Marlee Matlin. And obviously she's lip reading, a couple breaking up. And obviously Jerry and George doing their thing, covering their mouth. She's not a novelty act, George. It's a skill like juggling. Just ask her. I mean, as good as it gets, and then the reaction, well, I'll do it. Like, just amazing. Some of the best, whatever it was, 2 to 3 minutes you'll find in television. So for me, and by the way, George going out to dinner with them, like, I think it was their first date. And that just, again, like, talk about this a lot, just shows the loyalty, friendship. Like, he needed to pick me up. Jerry brings him out. Thumbs up.
All right. A very strong up right there. So, Tony, what do you got for your first up?
Yeah, that's a great up. I obviously bolded it, and I got a lot too. And to your point, just to piggyback off it, is the George on the doorknob. Oh, what are you doing tonight? That's why Jerry's you come along. He invites him to the date. That's a great to your point. The loyalty there, amazing. A lot of ups here, so I'm fine with him taking one of them. My up though is the George and Jerry conversation during the tennis match, looking at the ball girl, and Jerry's like, I'm going in cold, and George is like, you're going in cold. You can't go in cold. You're not one of those guys. That whole conversation. I remember watching it live, thinking like, that's right. Like, I didn't think adults thought that way at the time. Live, we were probably 14 years old in this layered live, something like that. And I'm wide, Jerry's going in cold. He's just going to go, what are you going to say? Hi, hi, George, you're going in with hi, good luck. That whole conversation. Jerry's like, I'm going to psych myself up. I'm just going to go in. And then she's not paying attention, obviously, because she's deaf. And then it goes on from there. But just that George and Jerry conversation around, approaching the girl. Jerry's been talking about her the whole time. George's like, go ahead, talk to her. And Jerry's like, I'm going in cold. You're not one of those guys. You can't be one of those guys. If you're one of those guys, I'm left on the outside, George says to him. Amazing conversation. Just two guys. Just, what does he do here in this situation? That's my up, is the Jerry going in cold to talk to Marlee Matlin.
Great scene there. So absolutely belongs as an up. Chris, over to you. What's your second up here?
Agreed. I love the whole U.S. Open. Just to give you a taste of New York. The whole thing. Wonderful. For me, it's kind of a double scene, but it's the breakup with George and Gwen. It's not you, it's me. George reacted. If it's anyone, it's me. Okay, it's you. And then the quick pivot at Jerry's apartment. I think it's just fantastic. Elaine describing the situation, saying, he's the loser. To the victor goes the spoil. Like, just Elaine brought it, man. I mean, and especially just giving that one specific scene, the way she kind of digs at George, but still in a cutesy Elaine type of way, not demeaning or mean. So I love that whole "it's not you, it's me" routine. I mean, let's be honest, it always is George. How could it not be? So that is my second up.
Yeah, I had both those written down. The routine and the etiquette about going to the party after a couple breaks up. So yeah, definitely good ups there. Tony, what do you have for your second up?
Yeah, that was a couple intertwined there. I'll give it to you though. That was two of my ups, sort of the victor goes the spoils. There was a few there, but that's fair. I'll give you that. There's so many ups here to choose from, so I'm fine with it. I got so many written down. I'm going to go with one I actually didn't write down, but I'm going to just go on the fly here. I mean, come on, the lip reading scene at the party with Kramer, sweep up, and help me sweep, and George is saying cut it. George is saying cut it. The whole Kramer reading the lips and then going back and forth with it, and George thinks he got her, and just the whole. I mean, George saying cut it line, and just all sweet. I'll help you sweep up, and incredible. I got 5 other fucking ups written down here, but I'll go with that one just because I didn't write it down and I thought of it while we were talking because Chris took 2 of mine in one shot. But that's my up is the Kramer lip reading scene. I like pea soup, and I like pea the whole thing. I mean, just incredible stuff. And we'll get to grades in a second, but that's my up.
So, Chris, we're going to go over to you. What's your down? We got to do some downs here, and this is a pretty solid episode. So, what do you got?
This is one of the biggest challenges in 2 Up, 2 Down history. I'm not going to lie; it was very difficult to find downs. I mean, and great episodes to get downs, you got to nitpick. You know who I didn't like in this episode? Todd. How is George friends with this guy? They're kind of like the same height, but he's got hair. He was just kind of annoying. And he had a party. I don't even know how George knows this guy. Because he's not working at this point, right? How does George know Todd? And did George bring Jerry and everyone? Are they all friends with Todd? I don't know. Again, I'm nitpicking here. Just not a huge fan of Todd. First down.
All right. Listen, no complaints there. So, who the hell is Todd? All right. Tony, over to you. What's your first down?
Yeah, my first down, and this might be, I don't know what Americans think about this one. Even my co-host here, he might disagree. But we haven't brought it up yet, and I think it's a part of the episode, a lot of the episode, actually. The limo driver doesn't do it quite for me. A little bit too much there, laying back and forth a couple of times. Metallica joke maybe, but Tom Hanks wouldn't disagree. I don't know. The lane in the cab, I get it. And now with Ubers, we're all doing it again. Is the whole you don't want to make small talk stuff. It just if you're gonna find a down in this episode, and I'm not. It's not like a huge down, but I do want to say the limo driver, it touches on the Larry Miller doorman, too good for me. Don't talk about the jumble. He talks about a little bit of that going on where Elaine always thinks she's going to be above and in the higher echelons of society type stuff and doesn't want to deal with the lower level people. I get it. But I think the limo driver falls a little short for me. I don't think it's a little too much. It happens a couple of times there at the end. There, so he bought me tickets to some sort of sick joke that brought up at the end. So that's my down is a limo driver bit. I think if I'm going to give it down, that's it.
Chris, over to you. A second down.
All right, second down, and yes, I do disagree with you there. I have that as an up. I thought Christopher Darga. He brought it, and they didn't just had him in 2 quick scenes. I thought Leifer was on all cylinders here, and the whole Tom Hanks and my fearing AIDS. I enjoyed that because been there, and the whole car servicing. You don't want the small talk, but be that as it may, man, I'm nitpicking here, but man, I mean. The opening conversation about sunblock, I don't know. I think they could have got right into one of your ups, Tony, was just, am I going in alone? The relationship, talking about the party. But they spent, a good minute, 30 seconds on the sunblock conversation. I don't think it was necessary. Again, this is Leifer's first episode. She 99% hit out of the ballpark on the writing. I think the sunblock stuff was just a small miss. And again, like I said, I'm nitpicking here for misses, but sunblock conversation, second down.
So, Tony, you're second down. What do you got?
Yeah, I wrote down 3. He took 1. I should have used that first. Now I'm regretting it because that was actually my biggest one. Probably, I agree. The opening conversation. I literally wrote down opening conversation. I don't like she's a BL line that George gives as well during that conversation. A beautiful lineswoman. But again, like Chris said, we're nitpicking. So my second, my second down is the ball boy kid. I get it. It probably could be an up if you ask me tomorrow, but I'm finding downs here. It's a little over the top. I think that was the point. So that's why I hate giving it a down, but it's a bit too much. But hey, Pops, you think you can last? And Kramer's like, yeah, I can last. The whole thing there that they give that kid a little bit too much play, I think. They make that out to be a thing where Kramer, is going to outlast these young punk kids, and he's like the fucking cool guy. Hey, Pops, you can make it. Kramer shows him up. It's basically an up almost, but I got to give it down. So I'm going to give it down to it's a little over the top, and I think that's what they're going for. So I hate giving it a down, but we got to find downs in this episode, and that's what I got. The ball kid kind of mocking Kramer on the ball boy auditions is my down.
All right, well there you go with the downs. So that means we're gonna wrap it up with grades. So Chris, over to you. What do you got for your final grade here?
Yeah, listen, I love when Tony's downs are ups for me. That means it's an incredible episode, and this episode for me. Watch it a lot, hit on all cylinders. I mean, we didn't even talk about Marlee Matlin. I mean, phenomenal job. From bingo to her arguing with Kramer. And, I thought Kramer really brought it this episode. You mentioned a little ball boy piece, but I loved him on the couch laughing at George. I mean, it was just pure. And knocking out Monica Seles at the end, I think was the perfect kind of ending to it. George was incredible. Peak George, peak Jerry. I mentioned Elaine. I thought she was incredible with even just at the office, talk with. I love her friend there. Like, take the car service, and she takes the car service, and the Victor goes to spoils. And Elaine, I'm not a bad person. I shoo squirrels away. I think what I'm saying here is all 4 hit it. Not only that, we had Marlee Matlin. Not only that, I thought Darga was great. Wonderfully written episode. You don't turn it off. Could barely find it down. The lip reader is an A.
Those are all amazing points, and yeah, well-deserving grade there. So, Tony, over to you. What do you got for your grade?
Yeah, I mean, I got 3 written down, and I think one of the one he touched on there as an up. I kind of, it was teetering on a down. I think, but overall, I agree with all his points. I think when you're finding downs, you're nitpicking on this one. The shooing squirrels line I didn't love. I had that as a down, fine. But the rest of her conversation I actually liked. I don't think Elaine brings it enough. I think Kramer's lip reading stuff is amazing when he says he learned sign language and he does his whole thing at the beginning. The ball boy stuff aside, the lip reader. I'm going back and forth. I got 3 written down. A- lip reader. I'm not arguing an A. I think an A is solid. I think an A is fair. But I'm going to go A-. And the reason I'm going A- is because it's just one of those episodes that's just like perfect, top 50, solid. The reason we love Seinfeld, there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's perfect start to finish, but it's not upper echelon. It's just a great. If someone asks me what's a great Seinfeld episode, I'd say The Liberator. Yeah, great episode. Watch it every time it's on. You're going to laugh. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nearly perfect, but it's not moving into A plus for me. It's just solid A minus, top 50, solid episode. That's my grade, A minus lip reader.
All right, well there you have it. A minus. Thank you guys for your ups and your downs and your grades, and we'll see you at the next one.